Okay, today I want to talk about something very specific, and it deals with chord relationships, and it builds your chord vocabulary really, really fast. I'm going to do it over dominant chords today, and if you want me to do it with other chords, I can do that later in other videos. Just let me know in the comments. The example that I'm going to use is a 2-5-1. This is what a 2-5-1 is or sounds like. Right, and we're going to G major. This is a G major 7 chord, A minor 7 chord, D7 chord, or D9, and then G major. So we're going to look at this chord. This is the dominant chord, 5. It's usually dominant. And we're going to talk about other chords that you can use in placement of this to kind of build more voicings really, really quickly. So the first thing I want to talk about is how this relates with itself. So a D dominant chord, you can play a scale over it. It's the Mixolydian scale. It sounds like this. Right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7, 1, and it restarts 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7, 1. All right, so if you're not familiar with theory, I'm just naming out these numbers. Keep this in mind. If you need to pause the video to go back to it, do it, because I'm about to bring it up right now. So this right here, this note, I named it the 6. Remember, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. So here's 6, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? So if we went past 7 and didn't go back to 1, it would be 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So this is also called 13. So in the higher extensions, you'll hear someone say like a D13 chord. Right? So here's one that's pretty popular. But I'm going to talk about how this relates to minor chords really quick, and how you can just play a bunch of minor chords right away. So if we look at this, we have D13. On the bottom end of the guitar neck, we have this going on. With this going on right here. Right? But I'm going to look at it like this. This is also a minor 9 chord. Now the only reason why it now sounds minor is because I switched the bass. If I did this, it now sounds dominant, or like a very like soulful 5 chord. So we have just the bass movement changes the overall sound of this chord. But what's really cool is if you omit the bass, you can really say this is anything, right? It just matters on what's going on with the bass player, or if you want to add the bass motion. But that being said, if you know your inversions for A minor, you can play A minor over D7 and it works. So I'll show you what I mean. These chords, these are called drop 2 chords. If you don't know what they are, I can do a video about those as well. Just let me know, or look them up. They're online, and just memorize them. But so we have this. So I can play all these different inversions of A minor. And I can play it over D, right? So it could be like this. So already you have a lot more movement than just this. So you can have a lot of cool stuff going on. So the first relationship, A minor works over D7. This works over any key. So if you were in, let's say we're going to 2-5-1 to A major. Right, now the 2 is B minor, the 5 is E dominant, and then the 1 is A major. All you're doing is you find the same shapes, and now this area, and you can play those as dominant chords, right? can also play it as minor. Really, the chord names are just so you can memorize them, but once you're playing, you can really do anything you want as long as it sounds cool. Right. Okay. So that's a cool relationship. And then we have also one more I'm going to show you, and then I'll end it there for right now. Let's go back to G major. So we have the 2, A minor, 5, D7 or D9, and then G major 7. I keep saying 9 because there's a 2 right here. If I did 1, 2 from the D Mixolydian scale, 2 is also 9 because if I made 7 go to 8, and then 8 goes to 9. That's why 13 is 6 and 9 is 2. But if you're confused about that, that's totally fine. Just know that's why it's called a 9 chord if you were curious. But anyways, we go back to D7. Another cool thing that you can do is play a really a diminished shape right here. A diminished shape right here. So if you want to look real close, I play D7, 5th fret, 4th fret, and then all 5th fret down. And then I just switch it. Looks like a zigzag. We have the 4th fret, 5th fret, the 4th fret, and the 5th fret with your pinky, respectively. So you can play this as well. So I can go like this. That has a very, it creates a lot of tension. So if I can. Right, so what I just did right there is I combined the two ideas that I just showed you. So now what you can do is you can create these diminished shapes and combine it with the A minor shapes, and now you have a ton more shapes that you can learn. And you're probably thinking, well, I don't know these A minor shapes, so this is pointless. Well, sometimes there's gonna be times where you're actually gonna have to memorize things. So the list of things that you should look at if you really want to get into this, look up drop 2 and drop 3 chords. Each chord has them, so you'll see major 7 drop 2s, you'll see minor 7 drop 2s, dominant, half diminished, and they all are great. You memorize them, and once you have them down, you start to realize that some of them relate to each other in a certain way, and you can kind of sub them out, and that's what we're doing here. Back to this before I turn this off. If you didn't know, diminished is super parallel. I think that's the word. So you can just, an inversion is just a minor third up. If you don't know what a minor third is, it's just 3 frets up. So 1, 2, 3. So like this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So you can kind of hear the similarities. So right there you have 4 chords that you can play for D7. Right? So if you have any questions about that, leave it in the comments. I'll try and answer them. And if you want any more content where I show you how different chords can relate to each other, let me know. Adios.